This week on First Listen, we checked out Linkin Park's latest album, One More Light. And just by that title, I was a little bit worried, like, is this going to be their last album? I hope not. I really like this band. I've been listening to Linkin Park since 2001, so shortly after their debut album, Hybrid Theory. And I have liked pretty much everything that they've put out. A couple things in between, maybe not so much. This one is something. We'll say that much. It is something. So let's get into this First Listen. So their seventh studio album opens with Nobody Can Save Me. A soft, bubbly start, and then Chester's soft voice chimes right in. This album follows this same theme. It is light. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But this track transitions really, really nicely. I was surprised that it was this light, though. Let's just say this track and others on the album feel very 2017. You'll know what I mean as we get further. Next we have Good Goodbye. This is a cool track. Opens with more soft Chester. I'm going to keep calling him that. Hope he loves it. And then transitions to Mike. Yeah, Mike getting into his flow. He does not get into his flow very much in this album. This is a Chester album. So this has features from Pusha T and Stormzy. I think I got that right. And it all fits together. It does what I didn't think it could do. Sometimes their features are not the best. They're not the worst either. We don't want to get into who's the worst. But this track comes off really well, comes together quite nicely. So this album is light. It's a collection of a bunch of genres. And I can't name all of them for you because there's quite a few. This is more alternative, and alternative 2017, not alternative like 2000, than I think they've ever been. There's some dubstep-y / electronica, some other stuff in here we'll talk about. But this is not a heavy album. There are no screams. None. And I think this is the sound that they're going to go with. Kind of an interesting choice for a band that has been pretty well known for lots of effects, lots of screams, well-timed screams, I might add. But this is going to be light. So let's continue on. So then we have Invisible. Mike's Open is very singer-songwriter. It's different, is what I'll say. It's very different, but still good. I like it. It's uplifting and apologetic even. And it comes through really heartfelt. Yeah. I like it. Then we have Heavy, the lead single on the album featuring Kiara, which I had to look this up because I was a little taken aback that there was a female feature. This is the first female feature on an album for Linkin Park. And I was like, what? Huh. Interesting. Well, she smashes it. She does such a good job. This track is very cool and a little depressing. Some of these tracks are in this same lane. They're very open and honest and all the gritty stuff that can happen in life and love and all that stuff seems to be really coming through on this album, more so than in previous albums, at least the last two anyway. All right, so I feel like this needs to be said. I normally don't do this, but I'm doing it here. Just because I don't talk about a track on an album doesn't mean it's not good or I don't like it. Sorry for now, talking to myself. These are good tracks. There's some others on here that I'm not going to talk about because I would say very similar things and I don't want to constantly repeat myself unless it's for effect. So there you go. I like pretty much everything on this album. It all flows together really well. So let's continue this review. One More Light, the title track, the longest track. Tracks on this album are pretty short. This album's pretty short. If I haven't mentioned that, it is 35 minutes, 10 tracks. Kind of short. It's Linkin Park. This track is so beautiful and so well done, so well produced. There were a couple moments where I teared up, and this can happen to me because music, hits me in the feels. This track hit me especially hard, and it's probably the most heartfelt track on this album, and maybe the most heartfelt, most emotional track that Linkin Park has ever done. This is probably my favorite track on this album. Finally, this album finishes out with Sharp Edges, which is a folksy track. Who knew that Linkin Park could drop that folksy vibe? I didn't. I thought I was listening to Mumford & Sons for a second there. And I was like, oh no, still listening to the sound. Okay, cool. It's done very well. Interesting way to finish an album. I'm not sure it's gonna go over well with everybody though. I liked it. Thought it fit really well with the rest of the tracks on this album. I didn't know what to expect with this album, and I think a lot of people are probably going into this with the same feelings. And coming out of it, I kind of feel good. I feel like this is a good album. It's not great. Maybe after another listen, it might be. That's gonna do it for this edition of First Listen. I hope you enjoyed. Hit up those comments down below with your thoughts about the album. I can't wait to read them. This is gonna be a good one. So go ahead and subscribe, check out some other videos, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again here on the 10th aisle for more First Listens. Have a nice day.